Konoha, compared to the video, you're the greenest ninja in the world. This video is purely for entertainment and does not infringe on copyrights or laws. The rights to the novel and image belong to the original author. We do not claim ownership. Don't like waiting and want to listen to this fanfic in full now? Subscribe to our Patreon, where you'll find the best fanfics. Chapter 251. The second video starts playing. But compared to Sasuke, Kakashi has more important tasks here, that is Aike in front of him. However, it seems that there is no need for him to appear now. After all, Aike is surrounded by several beauties, big and small, mature and sexy, and pure and lovely. All styles are available, especially the girl from Tsunagakure, who is only 11 or 12 years old, made Kakashi's jaw drop in shock. However, in comparison, Kakashi's gaze was involuntarily attracted by the dark-eyed boy beside him. There was no expression on the doll's face, as if it was not a real person, but a puppet. There was a big orb on his back, and he didn't know what was in it. However, Kakashi doesn't care. What he cares about is the identity of this boy. Gaara, son of 4th Kazekage, Jinchuriki of One Tail. Unexpectedly, 4th Kazekage would send Jinchuriki here. Isn't he afraid that Jinchuriki might have an accident here? 07 Saima also looked heavy. Now is a good opportunity, shall we? As he spoke, he made a gesture of wiping his neck. Might Guy immediately said seriously, "No. How could we do such a despicable thing?" Asuma looked at Might Guy speechlessly. Is this guy really a ninja? Calling mean, aren't ninjas just people who do dirty things in the dark? Kakashi also shook his head and said, "Indeed, don't forget our mission. If Aike is stimulated by the battle with Gaara here, not to mention our own safety, if Aike has a bad feeling for us Konoha because of this, then we will die." Asuma also understood the importance of it, and completely suppressed the killing intent. Gaara took a look here, and then looked away without paying attention. He turned to look at Aike surrounded by many women. This made Gaara a little helpless. He came here specially because he wanted to ask Aike about something, but obviously those women would not give him this chance. But if you really want to fight, these women are not so fuel efficient. Chapter 252. Aike and his 2 little followers. The conflict between the Uchiha clan and the village has deepened day by day, and Uchiha Fugaku knows that Danzo is very eyeing on their Uchiha clan, so, after discussing with the elders, he made a decision to hide Aike. They didn't want Aike to die unexpectedly for some inexplicable reason. This is a huge loss that their Uchiha clan cannot bear. Even if the frontline war is still going on, there are still enough people in the village to protect Aike. For this decision, Uchiha's top management felt very ashamed of Aike, but Aike smiled and said it doesn't matter, since it is for the benefit of the whole family, then my sacrifice is nothing. Tears welled up in the eyes of the high-level Uchiha clan who spoke these words. Aike is not only extremely talented, but even his heart for the sake of the family moved them. They secretly vowed in their hearts that they must train Aike to be the greatest person in the history of the Uchiha clan, and Aike practiced step by step in the family training ground. Every day the Nine Tails rebellion has not yet happened, and the Uchiha clan has not been completely marked by ambush, so Aike can rest assured to practice in the training ground of the clan. Aike's strength is also improving step by step every day. There will be some masters of the Uchiha family to guide Aike, and everyone is very serious because they know that Aike must be an important figure in the future of their clan. When Aike was 3 years old, something big happened. The remains of the ninjas who died at the front were sent back. Most of the remains are incomplete. What's more, even the corpses are not left behind. It can be seen that the battle on the front line is tragic. Also on this day, Aike got a bad news. An elder in the group who has been very good to him has sacrificed. Looking at the pale face of this elder, Aike's heart was shaken under the great sorrow. It also caused a second change in his eyes. Aike's Sharingan turned into Sangyo. This situation undoubtedly excited the whole family, but they tried their best to suppress the excitement, not only because the overall atmosphere is extremely strong, but also to protect Aike from being exposed. However, even the clansmen don't know it. Chapter 253. We are all companions in the same village. We must get along well. Aike is a person who likes to laugh very much. You can always see a sincere smile on Aike's face, but if there is a misunderstanding of Aike's character because of this, it will obviously suffer a big loss soon. Aike will reach the age of John in school. As soon as he started school, students who could not understand the Uchiha clan came to make trouble after school. Several senior students surrounded Aike in a corner. Because of their age, their tall figures surrounded Aike in the middle, which seemed airtight. Aike raised his head, still smiling. "Everyone, stop me. What do you want to do?" A boy from the Shimura clan with a shoehorn face said disdainfully. "What to do? Disgusting Uchiha? Of course I will teach you a lesson. My father obviously didn't do anything. He just drank some wine. You guys from the Uchiha clan arrested people indiscriminately. Who gave you this right? Aike was still smiling. Naturally, Master Second Hokage, another boy from the Sarutobi clan, was furious, and raised his hand to give Aike a slap. Damn it. How dare you talk glibly? See if I didn't teach you a good lesson. The Sarutobi boy clutched his wrist and screamed in pain, before kneeling uncontrollably on the ground. 063 I saw his palm, and I don't know when it has been taken by Jagu assassin. Aike's smile remained unchanged, and he turned to look at Shimura boy and asked, we're all fellow villagers, aren't we? Since this is the case, it is right for the family to get along with the children, and, now that the war is not over, it's time we need to be united, isn't it? The other teenagers couldn't help but take 2 steps back. Seeing the smile on Aike's face made them feel creepy inside. Piercing the palm with cunning, even they may not be able to do this kind of behavior. As a result, the Uchiha boy in front of him did it without changing his face, and so fast, they didn't even see it. However, the 2 steps back involuntarily seemed to hurt Shimura's self-esteem. He said with an ugly face, he is alone, we fight together, are we afraid that we won't be able to beat him? Chapter 254. A total of 10 black pots in the world, Sarutobi Danzo monopolizes 12. Aike said with a smile all over his face, but what he said made the adults angry. Who is your companion Uchiha? A group of disgusting monsters. They are simply demons. Sacrifice your companions to gain strength? Who wants to have companions like you? How dare you attack your lord? See if I don't teach you a lesson. Grown-ups naturally don't shrink back like children, they will only get angrier. He even directly took out a hidden weapon such as a kunai shuriken, which is self-evident to the extent of blocking wolves, but before they could make a move, Aike was done his attack. Aike wouldn't just stay where he was and wait for someone to attack, he always likes to strike first immediately. The arrogant adults fell to the ground one after another, howling terribly on their palms and soles. There are kunai and shurikens, and it was the hidden weapon they just took out by themselves. As a result, Aike took it from their hands without anyone noticing, and launched an attack on them. Aike knelt down and said to Uncle Shimura, who was howling, let's get along well, Uncle, how about it? After all, we are companions in a village. Uncle Shimura's face was full of fear at the moment. He didn't even dare to look at Aike's face, his eyes kept dodging. Aike suddenly said curiously, the uncles were using kunai and shuriken just now, are you holding back? But now the war is going on fiercely outside the village, and the uncles are not Anbu who protect the village. Why do they stay in the village? Are all the uncles deserters? Or did the uncles not participate at all? Oh, it's no wonder that the uncles are so weak. They might die soon after going to the battlefield, so they probably dare not go. Chapter 255. When you met me for the first time, you were under the illusion. What is Orochimaru-sama talking about? Why can't I understand? Aike said with a smile. There was still some confusion on the expression, as if a child couldn't understand what Orochimaru was saying. Orochimaru pouted, but didn't care compared with his so-called genius. Orochimaru is now more concerned about his future plans. After all, as a disciple of Sarutobi Hiruzen, Orochimaru is not young anymore. In order to fulfill his ambition of learning all ninjutsu, he knows that there is not much time left for him. He had to think of other ways to change this situation. Since he is a genius of the Uchiha clan, let the Uchiha clan deal with it. When Orochimaru saw it, he knew that Aike was not easy, but he didn't care, and he was sent to the team of the Uchiha clan. Even on the front line, the 3-0 Wave clan was feared by other ninja clans except for the members of their respective teams. The members of other teams looked at the Uchiha clan not so friendly, of course. This kind of gaze is very cryptic. After all, they are still in the battlefield, and they are all teammates of the same faction. But judging from the signs observed by Aike, it can be found that the gap between the village and Uchiha is getting bigger and bigger. The smile on Aike's face became even brighter soon. Aike was picked up by the elders of the Uchiha clan. The subsequent wars basically had nothing to do with Aike because of Aike's unique talent. The people of the Uchiha family dare not take any risks. I'm afraid that Aike will have the slightest situation, although there are always teams. But every time there will be many teams of the Uchiha family applying to go with them, and their purpose is to protect Aike's safety. And Orochimaru also took advantage of the mentality of the Uchiha clan to continuously dispatch Aike to areas where the war situation was critical. This naturally made the people of the Uchiha family volunteer to go to these high-risk areas, and the natural casualties became much larger. Although Orochimaru has no intention of participating in the suppression of the Uchiha clan by the village high level, Orochimaru doesn't mind going along and reducing the number of Chiba clan not long after the years-long war finally came to a halt as the supply lines of Rock Shinobi's forces were blown up as Namake's Minato, who blew up the Canopy Bridge, became the hero of this war and was in the limelight for a while. Even Orochimaru, who is the frontline commander, falls short. Aike returned to the village intact apart from the fact that the clansmen suffered a lot more casualties because they wanted to protect him. There were no other problems. Peace was restored, and Aike returned to his peaceful daily life. Although becoming a Genin, the task still has to be done. Chapter 256. My ability, I call it Kyoka Sujutsu. Anoki, how is it possible? No matter how powerful Aike is, how can he cast illusion on Orochimaru? Tsunade, impossible? Why do I feel that Orochimaru has poor resistance to illusions? Orochimaru, my illusion resistance is poor. It is due to other reasons. During this period, my illusion resistance is still very strong, and it is impossible for easy illusion to control me. Fourth Raikage, Orochimaru is a waste. Deidara, no matter how Master Aike did it, there is no doubt that Master Aike is amazing. Kokuzu, even if Orochimaru's illusion resistance is not good, it is impossible to be controlled for such a long time, and Orochimaru can't detect it in the middle. Scorpion, there is no such illusion in this world, except distinguished heavenly gods, which fundamentally distorts the will of others. Uchiha Madara, don't forget. Aike has Mangekyo. This might be his Mangekyo ability. Grandma Chiyo, Mangekyo Sharingan, what a pair of terrifying eyes. Terumi Mei, compared with other people from the Uchiha clan really take advantage. Impossible. Orochimaru shouted loudly. 15. How long has it been? Your illusion can't last that long. Besides, if I have been hit by an illusion, how could I not notice it for so long? It's absolutely impossible. However, when Orochimaru looked over, Aike was no longer there. It's not the body flicker technique or other ninjutsu, but the weird feeling that it was there 1 second, and disappeared without a sound the next. Nothing is impossible. Aike's voice came from above, and Orochimaru looked up immediately, and saw Aike's figure appearing on the branch next to him, but it quickly disappeared slowly, little by little. Very weird. Orochimaru had goosebumps all over his body. He knew that he must still be under the pressure of illusion, otherwise, Aike's weird sense of disappearance cannot be explained. The way of the world is full of wonders. Don't judge the whole world with your personal cognition. Aike's voice was able to come from behind Orochimaru. Orochimaru turned around suddenly and found that Aike was only half body. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelist. There you'll find the original version of this story, and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 257 is Anbu of the 4th generation, how to pass on the order of the 3rd Hokage? After scaring off Orochimaru, Aike's life returned to normal. The expected root members did not appear, and Danzo seemed to have disappeared. Without the previous arrogance apparently learned of Aike's abilities from Orochimaru, Aike didn't think there was anything wrong with his abilities being exposed. Sometimes, some abilities need to be hidden, because once exposed, someone will be able to find a way to target them. But Aike believes that only when his ability is exposed, will he show the strongest deterrent effect, because after knowing this information, everyone who meets Aike will think about it unconsciously whether the Aike in front of them is the real Aike, or the fake Aike that Aike let them see. It is precisely because of this that Orochimaru is very clear about Aike's ability, but he dare not act rashly. The same goes for Danzo. In this way, under the rare peace, time flies by. Before I knew it, more than a year had passed. This year, Aike was 8 years old. Uchiha Shisu is the same age as Aike. Uchiha Itachi is 4 years old at the same time. Uchiha Itachi's younger brother, Uchiha Fugaku's second son, Uchiha Sasuke, known as Nezuzi, was born at this time. Sarutobi Hiruzen had abdicated, and Namake's Minato, who made a big splash in the 3rd battle, defeated Orochimaru and became the 4th Hokage in a few months. Namake's Minato's wife Uzumaki Kushina is about to give birth. Because of the special identity of Uzumaki Kushina Jinchuriki, production must be kept in an absolutely safe environment, so I deliberately chose an inaccessible place, and set up multiple barriers. This strict protection seems to be foolproof, but Aike sees it in his eyes, but feels that it is full of loopholes. Isn't this place without 300 taels of silver? In such a deserted place, such an enchantment suddenly appeared. Isn't it just telling others that there is a secret here? As long as the perception ability is sufficient, Within a certain range, you will be able to discover the enchantment tier for intruders who dare to break into Konoha. How useful is this barrier that only serves as a notification? Aike felt very unsafe really as Aike expected Ninetales, the demon fox, suddenly appeared in the village. Chapter 258 Huh? Are there fewer people here? Kakashi, Danzo used to use this to suppress the Uchiha clan. Now that the Uchiha clan is participating in the war, Danzo naturally has no reason to take advantage of this, and the Uchiha clan does not have to move outside the village. Anoki, well, without Danzo's interference, Konoha's power will probably become stronger and stronger. I really feel worried for our Iwagakure, Danzo. Get up quickly. Take out your ninja world dark momentum, fourth Raikage, the darkness of the ninja world? I think it is the god who takes the blame. As long as there is a blame in the ninja world, he must be involved in it. Terumi May, that's true, our fourth Mizukage is controlled by Uchiha Obito, and it must be sent to Danzo too. Dried Persimmon Ghost Shark, good guy, is it true that everything is being blamed on Danzo's head? But it feels quite appropriate. Grandma Chiyo, my grandson's assassination of third Kazekage and defection must also be counted on Danzo's head. If he doesn't force Hatake Tsukumo to death, I will have the opportunity to avenge my son and daughter-in-law. Naturally, my grandson will not defect because of this. Hanzo of the Salamander, reasonable and impeccable, he too, didn't we just discuss ex-husband's invincible illusion ability? Why did you suddenly condemn Danzo as a beast, Deidara? 317, good guy, let's rescind the membership? But I like what you said. When Aike followed the Uchiha tribe to the place where Ninetales was ravaging, he immediately saw the three-tomo Sharingan in Ninetales' eyes. It is precisely because of this that when the Uchiha tribe came, they were not welcomed by other ninja tribes, but looked at with suspicious eyes. Uchiha Fugaku naturally also saw it, which made him feel unbelievable. He thought that someone in the clan did these things behind his back, but wanting to control Ninetales is not an easy thing to do. At least Uchiha Fugaku can't do it. At this moment, Ninetales, who is controlled into a frenzy, is crazily destroying, and any ninja who approaches will be crushed by a strong force. Everyone can only attack with long-range ninjutsu, but it has little effect on Ninetales' huge body. What's going on? Why are there so few people? Where are the ninjas from the Sarutobi and Shimura clans? Why can't you see them? Aike said in a very curious voice. The childlike voice, in this chaotic battlefield, clearly reached the ears of other ninjas. They looked around subconsciously, and suddenly found that there were indeed no ninjas from the Shimura family and the Sarutobi family. Even Sarutobi Hiruzen, who said he would come to support him, didn't see it. Only these civilian ninjas and ninjas from other ninja clans were present. Chapter 259 Your Ninetales are good, but now they are mine. Aike hides in a corner and doesn't attract anyone's attention. Aike is just a child, standing in a very safe place, naturally will not attract the attention of others. Around Aike, there are only a few men specially left by Uchiha Fugaku to protect Aike's safety so as not to be plotted against by someone from the darkness of the ninja world. But what Uchiha Fugaku didn't know was that Danzo didn't dare to shoot Aike casually at all. Aike just watched leisurely, Ninetales wreaking havoc right in front of his eyes. The Sharingan in the eyes of Ninetales is so eye-catching, making Aike realize that the appearance of Ninetales must be a conspiracy against the Uchiha clan. Maybe more than that. It seems that if you want to figure it out, you have to take action. Aike thought for a while, and then when no one was watching him, the pupils of his eyes suddenly changed into Mangekyo. Then it released a murderous intent towards Ninetales. Ninetales immediately sensed it, and turned its huge head. At this moment, the two looked at each other. Aike's pupil power mobilized, and then covered Ninetales' eyes. Sharingan still appears in the eyes of Ninetales. However, at this time, Ninetales is no longer under the control of that mysterious person. Ninetales, controlled by Aike, immediately stopped all action, sitting on the ground very well behaved, like an extremely huge doll. This sudden move immediately attracted everyone's attention, but they don't know the inside, and they don't know what happened at all. However, Ninetales is no longer destroying. At least it is a good thing for them. At least they don't need to risk their lives to attack now. Ninetales didn't move, and they didn't dare to attack rashly, for fear of angering Ninetales, who had calmed down, causing Ninetales to go crazy again. So cute, Aike said softly with a smile. What did you say, Uchiha? Iron Tree next to him asked curiously. Aike shook his head and said with a smile, It's okay, I'm just talking to myself. Chapter 260 My pupil power is higher than yours. Deidara, ha ha ha. Sure enough. This guy Obito is completely confused. Inoki, the balance has not been broken, but Obito, who has a hostage, still has the upper hand. Naruto, huh? So that child is me? Damn it. You use me to threaten mom and dad. Jiraiya, people who have fallen into darkness always try to complete their deeds by any means. Unfortunately, I am not in the village at this time, otherwise such a thing will not happen. Tsunade, it's not that you are going to write your inexplicable novel. Just because of this, how many things have you missed? Or Orochimaru, just because of the prophecy given by that toad? The so-called fatalism? How ridiculous. Danzo, HMPH. This Aike is Uchiha? He must also want Hokage's position. How could he save the fourth generation? Terumi May, it's really strange. I haven't spoken for so long. I thought you were dead with 080 inches. Grandma Chiyo, it is extremely arrogant to guess other people's thoughts with one's own heart, and perhaps it is for this reason that Danzo does so many outrageous things. It is simply insane. Fourth Raikage, let them sit in this position. I don't know if Konoha's brains are flooded, and I don't know why they are. Uchiha Fugaku, Senju Tobirama is to blame for all this. If he hadn't appointed him, why would Sarutobi Hiruzen be third Hokage? Uchiha Hikaru, that's right. Senior Mingjing is also a disciple of Senju Tobirama, but he didn't think about Senior Mirror at all. It's completely out of fear for our Uchiha clan. Senju Tobirama, if Kagami stood up and spoke first at that time, I would definitely have given him the position of Hokage. I never thought that Sarutobi, who had high hopes, would change from a slasher to the current useless look. Uchiha Madara, what's the use of talking so much now? And isn't the security team a trap you specially set up for us Uchiha clan? With this thing here, what else do you have to say? Obito was dumbfounded, but Namokaze Minato was not dumbfounded when Ninetales appeared. His heart sank but Ninetales didn't move, which made Namokaze Minato very puzzled why. The tail doesn't even have the slightest tendency to attack, and looking at it like this, the person opposite didn't know what was going on. Things took a turn for the better. Namokaze Minato realized this immediately. However, now is not the time to act. Naruto's safety must be ensured before he can move. Namokaze Minato believes that things will definitely turn around before long. Uzumaki Kushina didn't think so much. She just looked sadly at the snatched child, and looked at Obito with anger and resentment in her eyes. This is the instinct of being a mother. If it weren't for worrying about hurting the child, Uzumaki Kushina would have punched him at this moment. A sudden voice startled everyone. Yo, it's so lively here, eh? Laughing voice came into the ears of the three of them. Chapter 261. Is this the child of the fourth generation? What is it called? Cold sweat broke out on Obito's forehead. Illusion in the body, but did not notice the slightest abnormality that was enough to startle Obito in the current situation. If he continues to stay for a long time, it may be a problem whether he can leave or not. Time is running out for Obito. Obito did not hesitate too much, and directly resorted to Kamui and left the scene with Kamui's unreasonable hollow ability. Obito's departure was not hindered by anything, but Namokaze Minato didn't dare to relax in the slightest. I'm afraid Obito will come back with a carbine. At this time, it came to the side of Uzumaki Kushina with a smile on his face. Is this the child of the fourth generation? What's his name? Uzumaki Kushina turned to look at Aike and said, Naruto, Namokaze Naruto. Aike nodded with a smile and said, it's really a cute child, especially the beard on his face. Uzumaki Kushina's heart tightened. She knew that the beard on Naruto's face was caused by her status as Jinchuriki. This made her feel a little guilty because of her. Naruto has been different from others since he was a child. Although Aike said he was cute, Uzumaki Kushina must have some grudges in his heart at this time. Namokaze Minato, who was vigilant and didn't notice any other movements, came over. It looks like he really backed off. Thank you this time, Aike. Aike frowned, looked at Namokaze Minato and said, you know me. Although Namokaze Minato is Hokage now, logically there is no one he doesn't know, but Aike thinks that he has always been very low-key, and he didn't have any outstanding performance on the battlefield to make others remember him, not to mention that the Uchiha tribe watched him firmly, barely letting others touch themselves under such circumstances. Namokaze Minato, who had only met him a few times on the battlefield, was able to remember himself. Namokaze Minato said with a smile. Chapter 262. The eve of the genocide night. Afterwards, life returned to peace as usual. Of course, these are just for ordinary Konoha civilians. For the Uchiha family, The recent period can be said to be on the cusp because of the previous rescue operations. The image of the Uchiha clan has been greatly recognized, but soon, rumors began to spread in the village. It is said that the people who controlled Nine Tails to attack the village were members of the Uchiha clan, and the actions of the Uchiha clan were self-directed and acted out in order to deceive the ignorant masses and improve their image. Soon, rumors began to spread. Public opinion in the village regarding the Uchiha clan has become polarized. One group is people who have been rescued by the Uchiha clan, or who have seen the Uchiha clan save lives with their own eyes. They firmly believe that the Nine Tails rebellion is not the fault of the Uchiha clan. The other party believes that it must be related to the Uchiha clan, and claims that the Sharingan in the eyes of Nine Tails is the best evidence. In fact, this point of view can hold a firm foothold because the Sharingan in Nine Tails' eyes is too obvious. In the end, Namake's Minato stood up and made a special announcement declaring that this matter had nothing to do with the Uchiha clan. It was a conspiracy from outside the village. The purpose is to split the relationship between the Uchiha clan and the village. Aike is sitting at home, but relevant information has already reached his ears at this time. Hearing Namake's Minato's words, Aike shook his head slightly, with a faint smile on his face. Sure enough, it's still too naive, perhaps. On the battlefield, you can be decisive, but unfortunately you are not suitable to sit in that position. Rescuing Namake's Minato is just Aike's handy move, and it can also lick Sarutobi Hiruzen and Danzo. Why not do it? However, facing Sarutobi Hiruzen and Danzo's despicable methods in private, Aike is not optimistic about Namake's Minato. You take everyone in the village too seriously, and they just see you as a stumbling block. You don't want to hit them, but they are eager to kill you, don't you realize? A gleam of regret flashed in Aike's eyes. If things go on like this, Aike is sure that Namake's Minato will be killed by the trap set by Danzo. Of course, in terms of Namake's Minato's strength, the probability of this matter is not too high. The more likely outcome is that Namake's Minato becomes a puppet Hokage. With Namake's Minato's platform, the Uchiha clan's wind rating was turned around a bit, but not by much. Chapter 263. It's over before it begins. Deidara, huh? With Master Aike here, how did Shisu die? Anoki, this is not surprising. Although Aike is very strong, he is also a human being, and it is impossible to cover everything. Tirumi May, Danzo must have done it secretly. Kakuzu, besides this old guy, there is no one else. Dried persimmon Kisame, is Mr. Itachi still going to rebel? But can he beat Aike? Scorpion, obviously I can't beat it, so I'm not worried at all. Naruto, it can definitely stop Sasuke's brother. So Sasuke won't become an orphan. Kushina, as expected of my son, he is always considerate of others. Grandma Chiyo, I'm really curious, what is Aike going to do? Now it seems that Aike doesn't move at all. Pain, a shrewd person like Aike cannot fail to notice the problem, but he is obviously waiting for an opportunity. Fourth Raikage, what's the use of talking so much? Wouldn't it be over if you continue to read? Not long after Uchiha Itachi, who witnessed his friend die in front of his own eyes, finally made up his mind he wants to eradicate the Uchiha clan completely to avoid greater sacrifices in the future. Then when a mysterious person wearing a mask attracted the attention of the village, he came to the Uchiha clan's residence alone. But not long after he walked in, Five discovered some abnormalities. It was too quiet. It was obviously not time to go to bed at this time, but there was no smell of people on the road or in the room. This abnormal situation immediately aroused the vigilance of Uchiha Itachi. He looked around and moved forward cautiously after turning a corner. I finally saw a person looking at the man who was always smiling. Uchiha Itachi was startled, and then kept the utmost vigilance. So, it's you. Aike, you already know what I'm going to do. Aike kept smiling and said with a slight sigh, although I noticed that you are different from the general Uchiha people, I never expected that you are so stupid. Uchiha Itachi frowned and said, I did this for the sake of the village. If the clan continues to fight with the village, it will inevitably cause a large-scale fight. At that time, both the clan and the village will suffer, so only by completely eliminating one side can this crisis be resolved. The smile on Aike's face remained the same. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelists. There you'll find the original version of this story, and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 264. Uchiha Itachi enlightened with kind words. Watching Aike approaching in a trance, Uchiha Itachi spoke intermittently. Would you kill me, a traitor to this clan? Aike walked up to Uchiha Itachi, found a stone pier and sat down with an everlasting smile on his face. You still don't get the point of the matter. Uchiha Itachi suddenly felt someone approaching him from behind, but at this time, he has no energy to manage. Someone behind him grabbed his arm and pulled him up from the ground. Itachi, your thinking is wrong. Hearing this extremely familiar voice, Uchiha Itachi's eyes widened in disbelief, and he turned around suddenly. Shisu. But you already. Shisu gave an apologetic smile. Sorry, but it was actually a bet between me and Aike. Uchiha Itachi was dumbfounded. Bet? But you were not killed by Mr. Danzo, do you still call that guy an adult now? Aike interrupted Uchiha Itachi's words. His voice was so cold that it made people wake up instantly. Shisu sighed and said, It is true that I was attacked by Danzo, but with Aike's warning in advance, I escaped unscathed. However, at this moment Aike made a bet with me. When I die in front of you, what choice will you make? I think you will protect the clan and the village well, and Aike thinks you're definitely sacrificing both. Shisu looked at Uchiha Itachi with a complicated expression, and said with a sigh, Aike. 1. Are you really going to sacrifice your family, even with so many reminders? Are you still unable to see clearly the real problems facing the clan and the village? Uchiha Itachi looked puzzled. However, the relationship between the clan and the village is now in dire straits. If it is not curbed, it will only become a bigger tragedy. Shisu sighed, shook his head regretfully, and walked to Aike's side. Aike propped his chin with his hand and said with a smile, You still don't see the crux of the matter, then? Let me ask you. Uchiha Itachi urgently needs to figure out why the two people's thoughts are so different from their own. What's going on? Is there something I don't understand? Aike said without haste. Chapter 265. Wait, where's my Sharingan that is so spicy? Deidara, I just said that with Master Aike around, how could Shisu die so easily? Anoki, it seems that Aike still relied on Aike's pupil technique to make Uchiha Itachi mistakenly think that Shisu is dead. Kakashi, more than that. You can't be perfect if you only deceive Itachi. Aike even deceived everyone. Might guy, Aike's illusion is amazing. Kakuzu, after thinking about it, it seems that Danzo's life is not going well. Orochimaru, this is what he deserves. Tsunade, Danzo got what he deserved. What about you? Because, Jiraiya, you who have done so many human experiments and killed so many of your own race, Orochimaru, have you ever thought about atone for the sins of those you killed? Scorpion, Orochimaru certainly wouldn't have such an idea. Naruto, in this way, will Sasuke not be an orphan? Great, Shikamaru, in this video, neither you nor Sasuke are orphans. Obito, who attracted Anbu's attention, suddenly retreated after entanglement for a while, intending to go to the Uchiha tribe to reclaim the Sharingan. Then he was stunned to find that nothing happened to the Uchiha tribe. Uchiha Itachi, who promised to eradicate the Uchiha clan with him, is even missing. All the Uchiha clan are alive and well. This suddenly made Obito a little overwhelmed. What's going on? Why is everything normal in the clan land? Just when Obito was puzzled, a familiar voice came from behind him. You look curious, don't you? Why should it be a lifeless clan land? As if nothing happened. Obito was startled suddenly. He didn't even notice that someone came behind him, and turned his head quickly. It's you. Obito's pupils constricted suddenly, and he immediately understood what was going on. You stopped Itachi? What happened to Itachi? Did you kill him? Aike said with a smile. How is it possible? I just told him that Yanmo was the right choice. Obito frowned. The right choice? The choice he should make most is to prevent a conflict between the Uchiha clan and Konoha. Aike said with a sneer. That's the choice you want him to make, isn't it? Chapter 266. Sasuke was knocked out by Naruto at ninja school? The genocide night of the Uchiha clan was resolved quietly. Not many people know about it. Aike, who had already noticed that the village was going to attack the tribe, set up the arrangement early. First, make a bet with Shisu that Danzo will impress him. Shisu didn't believe it, but was soon surrounded by Danzo. Fortunately, with Aike's warning in advance, Shisu's eyes were not taken away. However, he also understands that he alone cannot change the gap between Uchiha and the village, so he obeyed Aike's order, and with Aike's help, he pretended to commit suicide in front of Uchiha Itachi, so that Uchiha Itachi could open Mangekyo Sharingan afterwards. Aike judged that Uchiha Itachi might be brainwashed and become a sharp knife for the opponent to deal with the Uchiha clan, so before Uchiha Itachi did it, He used physical means to convince Uchiha Itachi to let him understand what should be done most after let Shisu and Itachi find Danzo. After Shisu's distinguished heavenly gods controlled Danzo, they learned from Danzo's mouth 24. The real reason why Danzo wanted to destroy the Uchiha clan, it's not that the arrogance of the Uchiha clan doesn't fit into Konoha, as Uchiha Itachi thought it's the high-level people in Konoha who are afraid of the Uchiha clan and don't want the powerful Uchiha clan to take power also, because Danzo knew a secret technique about Sharingan. He wanted to take Sharingan as his own. Uchiha Itachi almost collapsed on the spot after hearing this. He almost became the butcher knife in the hands of others to slaughter his own people, and he himself thought it was for the good of the village, until now. Uchiha Itachi didn't understand that everything about Hikari came from the greed of this man named Danzo. Just when Uchiha Itachi wanted to kill Danzo, Shisu stopped him. Leave him for now, he's still useful, at least until the Uchiha clan's reputation is restored. He and his roots have some role to play. Shisu's words made Uchiha Itachi stop, but looking at Danzo's eyes was full of anger. Can't wait to eat Danzo alive. After under Aike's secret control, some people suddenly appeared in Konoha village. They always tell about the contributions made by the Uchiha clan on the battlefield and during the Nine Tails Rebellion, the deeds of rescuing others regardless of their own lives. If someone refutes it, they will come up with evidence to prove it when the security team is performing tasks. When some people are dissatisfied that the security team arrests people indiscriminately, they will also jump out and explain to them the rules of the security team and emphatically state that these rules are drawn from second Hokage Senju Tobirama. Chapter 267. Brother died? Parents died too? In order to better train Sasuke, Aike took Sasuke to the training ground in the Uchiha tribe. The two stood opposite each other. Aike's posture is very relaxed, with his hands in his pockets and a relaxed smile on his face. Sasuke, on the other hand, put on a posture as if he was facing a big enemy, already holding two kunai in his hands. Then, Sasuke suddenly threw a handful of kunai, and the whole person rushed out. Seeing this, Aike couldn't help shaking his head. Such a reckless attack again. Are you really from the Uchiha clan? Are you sure you don't have the blood of the Inuzuka clan? Or the Akamachi clan? Facing the attack, Aike simply tilted his head, and Jowu passed by his ear. Sasuke, who was approaching quickly, immediately attacked from below, aiming at the most vulnerable abdomen of the human body, but Aike easily grabbed the arm. Hateful. Sasuke gritted his teeth and wanted to retract his arm, but Aike's palm was like an iron hoop. No matter how much he struggled, it remained motionless. Aike said with a smile, as a ninja of the Uchiha clan, you'd better get rid of this aggressive way. Remember, we have the strongest observation eyes. Before we confirm the strength of the enemy, we cannot rashly launch an attack. It was a good idea for you to use kunai to test at the beginning, but then it was a failure when you stepped forward to attack yourself. Saying that, Aike let go of Sasuke's palm. Sasuke immediately jumped back and opened the distance. Aike said with a smile, you have to keep in mind what I said. After all, even your brother is not my match. However, this kind of thing cannot be changed in a short time for you. So, next, I will test your physical strength. Come on, attack me with all your strength. Sasuke looked at Aike with bloodshot eyes, feeling humiliated. He roared and rushed over. However, at this moment, Uchiha Itachi suddenly appeared and stopped in front of Sasuke. Sasuke slammed on the brakes, with a surprised expression on his face. Elder brother. Uchiha Itachi smiled, a smile that was only shown to Sasuke. Go, let's go home. When Sasuke heard it, he immediately said happily, regardless of what he was doing just now, good, today. You must practice more with me. Chapter 268. Have I awakened Sharingan? Haha. Laozi is #1 in the world. Namake's Minato, it's a cruel way, but at least it's better than actually killing someone. Uchiha Fugaku, I am afraid that only Aike can achieve this level of realistic illusion. The illusion we can do is more to confuse the target, and the purpose is more to fight the enemy. Uchiha Madara, it can only be said that Aike has taken a different approach and achieved what we dreamed of in this way. Kakuzu, in terms of surprises, it never disappoints. Scorpion, Sarutobi Hiruzen stepped down, Danzo was under control, the Uchiha clan was not exterminated, and with Aike in charge, the Uchiha clan may take control of the world again. Tirumi may, not necessarily. This time Aike didn't have the idea of taking his tribe away from Konoha. If he had, he would have already used illusions on a large scale to arm the Uchiha tribe. A single tribe would be able to counter the entire ninja world's strength. Grandma Chiyo, that's right, And as he said in the video, he wants to repair the sick tree called Konoha, and now he is on the way to repair it pain. Compared with a previous video, there will definitely be different changes. Let us wait and see. Is this Sharingan? Sasuke stared blankly at the mirror. At this moment he hadn't figured out what was going on at all. Uchiha 640 wavered. Uchiha's gentle voice reached his ears. I'm so sorry, Sasuke. I just showed you the awful things, but don't worry, it's all fake. I'm fine. My father and mother are intact. Everything is just to open your eyes, the illusion that Aike will use specially. Sasuke looked up blankly and looked at Aike, who was smiling across the way. Illusion. So it was all illusion. It's surreal. Aike said with a smile. As I said just now, our Uchiha clan has the strongest observation eyes, but I'm referring to the Sharingan, which you obviously haven't mastered yet. Now that you have Sharingan, the next thing you need to do is to master him proficiently. As long as you master your current Sharingan, there will never be anyone in your age who will be your opponent. Only then did Sasuke slowly come to his senses. I awakened Sharingan, brother. I've awakened Sharingan. Sasuke suddenly jumped up from the ground, only feeling that there was endless power in his body that he needed to vent. Of course, this is just his illusion. Chapter 269. Sasuke looked so weird. He was laughing all the time. It was another class discussion in ninja school, but to the surprise of all the students, Sasuke actually laughed, and it's not the kind of fleeting smile, but a very kind smile. Sasuke kept laughing, but it made everyone who saw it feel creepy. This is also normal. Once you find that familiar people around you suddenly behave abnormally in your impression, you will feel weird. Well, Sasuke-kun, are you okay, little? Sakura looked at Sasuke worriedly, thinking that Sasuke gave up on himself because he lost too much to Naruto. Then the little Sakura was horrified to see Sasuke smiling all over his face. Shinfen said to her gently, I'm fine, thank you for your concern. You must work hard for the next sparring, little. Sakura stared blankly at Sasuke's smile, only feeling that the goosebumps all over her body were uncontrollable. Seeing this, the others distanced themselves far away, for fear that Sasuke would have a sudden convulsion. It's so weird. Sasuke always feels different from before. It seems that Naruto should be careful. Shikamaru said with a slight frown. Tooth rubbed his arms vigorously with both hands. I just feel a little disgusted. Such a gentle Sasuke is not the stinky guy we know at all. No matter how the students feel about him, Sasuke has always maintained a smile on his face, without the slightest reluctance, and looks very natural. This is naturally the result of Aike's training of Sasuke always put on a kind face, so that no one can see through the truth hidden under the smile. After a few days of training, Sasuke has been able to smile very naturally. Soon the class discussion begins naturally. Naruto and Sasuke, who were first and second in the class, were put into a group because it is obviously not fair to other people to be assigned to other groups compared with other students. There is a cliff-like gap in the strength of the two of them. Sasuke, what's the matter with you today? Did you get sick from eating? Chapter 270. Learning multiple shadow clone technique. The person who can learn is Sasuke. Although the victorious Naruto has been looking for Sasuke to compete, and wants to defeat Sasuke again, but from this day on, Naruto couldn't win every time. Even Naruto felt very uncomfortable seeing Sasuke's smiling expression, but why it was uncomfortable, Naruto himself couldn't tell. As a good friend, Shikamaru sees this very clearly, because you can't see the real emotion that Sasuke is hiding now. That is to say, the current you can no longer see through the mask that Sasuke put on. Yes, use a smile as a mask to hide your true emotions. This is one of the things that Aike taught. Never let others see through your emotions. That will only increase one of their chips to win over you. Sasuke was still not convinced at first, but he was educated by Aike a lot, and he was not 403 and had to follow and imitate. After he tried it, he had to admit that using a smile to cover up his emotions could effectively cover up his true thoughts. The battle between ninjas is more of a test of intelligence, whether it is the ninjutsu mastered by both parties, or the way and method the other party is preparing to attack, etc. It all represents intelligence. If you can make an accurate judgment, you will be able to make countermeasures in the first place. Sasuke covered all his thoughts in a smile, so that everyone who saw this smile felt something was wrong but couldn't understand the real way Sasuke was hiding under the smile. If Naruto can't see through, then Sasuke will never be defeated. However, even with Shikamaru's suggestion, Naruto couldn't see through Sasuke's true emotions. As a result, In the next few years of ninja school career, Naruto was never able to shake Sasuke's first grade. Since Naruto can't do it, others can't do it naturally. In the end, Sasuke graduated first and Naruto second. However, people will always remember who is the first, and they don't care about the second. Finish the graduation exam and wait for the graduation briefing session. Sasuke coincidentally met Mizuki, the ninja school teacher who stole the sealed book and wanted to escape from Konoha. In fact, Sasuke has discovered Mizuki's special identity long ago, and has set his sights on Mizuki long ago. Only then could it appear right in front of Mizuki's escape route, blocking Mizuki's way. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story, and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 271. Here he comes. He is here for the mission of the Kingdom of Waves. Sasuke has long seen that in the same grade, only Naruto can keep up with his pace. Although now with the help of Aike, he has taken a lot of strides forward, leaving his friends far behind. But Sasuke is also very conscious of the high potential of Naruto as a Jinchuriki in the future. Therefore, in order to avoid being surpassed by Naruto in the future, Sasuke can only stare at Naruto at close range, and constantly improve himself, so that he will always be in front of Naruto. This is the most basic reason why Sasuke wants to team up with Naruto. He doesn't want to be surpassed by Naruto inexplicably one day in the future. The proud Sasuke couldn't accept this happening during the graduation presentation and the assignment of teams. Sasuke got his wish and formed a team with Naruto, but a drag oil bottle Hiruno Sakura was added to the team. In Sasuke's impression, Hiruno Sakura is just a commoner with average talent. Theoretical knowledge is strong, but that's about it in the ninja world. Hard power is the strongest standard, so Sasuke didn't take it to heart, but Hiruno Sakura was very excited about the result. 29. On one side is the handsome genius Uchiha, on the other side is the lively and cheerful son of 4th Hokage. No matter which one it is a good boyfriend choice in their grade. The nympho Hiruno Sakura is caught in the trouble of happiness and doesn't know which one to choose. However, what Hiruno Sakura never expected was that neither of them had Hiruno Sakura in their eyes. No, Naruto still cares about Hiruno Sakura, because Naruto's character is like that. But relatively speaking, Naruto must care more about Sasuke, who beat him countless times before defeating Sasuke. Naruto certainly won't pay too much attention to Hiruno Sakura. The combination of these three people caused Kakashi, who became the leader of the three-person Jonin, a headache. On the one hand is the clan of his best friend Obito, and on the other is the son of the teacher. In terms of closeness, Kakashi is definitely closer to Naruto. After all, Sasuke is just a member of Obito's clan, and has nothing to do with NVC. Another Hiruno Sakura is even more of a headache for Kakashi. The entire nympho girl doesn't look like a qualified ninja at all. These three people look like a very troublesome combination, but troubles are troubles. As the leader Jonin, Kakashi still shouldered his responsibilities. Chapter 272. Zabuza dies again. But Bai is still alive. From Zabuza's point of view, Sasuke and others are just three Jonin who have just graduated. The strength is definitely not that strong, but soon, Zabuza fell into deep thought as he looked at the water body that turned into water stains and merged into the lake. Looking at the two young men who easily defeated his water clone, Zabuza couldn't help but think to himself, when did Konoha's Jonin become so strong? He is one of the 7 ninja swordsmen, and his water body cannot even defeat an ordinary Chunin. In the end, these two brats were defeated so easily. Is there something wrong here? Seeing the two teenagers rushing towards him, Zabuza had no choice but to let go of the water prison. Kakashi was freed and immediately used all his strength to defeat Zabuza with the power of Sharingan's imitation. Zabuza was then taken away by Shiro, who called himself Mist Shinobi's pursuit force. Kakashi didn't want to cause trouble, and because his own chakra was consumed too much, he watched the other party leave. After that, the team arrived at Asuna's home smoothly. The task is half completed here. Next, you need to protect Asuna while he's building the bridge. Kakashi gave this task to Sasuke. Naruto and little Sakura were arranged by Kakashi to learn how to tread trees in water. As for why he didn't teach Sasuke, it was because Kakashi found that Sasuke already knew it. Naruto was very surprised and couldn't help but ask, "How did you learn it? It's not taught in school at all." Sasuke asked with a smile, "Isn't this the basic of basics? Naruto, don't you know how to do it?" Seeing the smile on Sasuke's face, Naruto felt very uncomfortable. Naruto found that without realizing it, he had been left behind a lot by Sasuke. A few days later, Zabuza, who had recovered from his injuries, made a comeback, and beside him was Shiro wearing a mask. Zabuza challenges Kakashi again, and Shiro picked on Sasuke. Little Sakura is guarding Tetsuna to prevent the enemy from taking the opportunity to destroy their employer. As soon as Bai came up, he used his unique ice escape secret technique, and countless ice surfaces wrapped Sasuke in it, and Bai blended into the ice, as if he had become a flat person. Moreover, Bai continued to move quickly on the ice, even at a speed that exceeded the limit that the human eye could see. Chapter 273. This familiar phrase, is he still from Uchiha? Deidara, I remember that this death should be in vain, and then Zabuza went up to fight these guys to death, right? Why is it the other way around? Anoki, it must be because of Sasuke's influence on him, otherwise he would have immediately gone to help block Kakashi's attack. Tirumi May, Isn't it because he didn't have time? Forget it, no matter what, this poor boy survived and can consider coming to a water country. The water country is now very different from before. Hoshigaki Kisame, he is really the laughingstock of the 7 ninja swordsmen. In the environment where he is good at, he was killed by Kakashi so easily. It is simply ridiculous. Fourth Raikage, this boy's blood inheritance limit is a bit interesting, but unfortunately he is too kind and has no consciousness of being a ninja. Kakashi, they are just a pair of poor people, but they met such a tragic fate. Kakuzu, are you an idiot? The only graduate who massacred the entire class is a poor person? Orochimaru, people in Konoha are always so sentimental, and they use it in inappropriate places. They only see the surface and cannot think deeply about the deep meaning behind it. I am afraid that you still don't know the reason behind your father's death, do you? Scorpion, to be honest, I am also curious as to why someone who could kill my parents would choose to commit suicide. If he is such a weak ninja, it is impossible for him to kill my parents. Pain, you should carefully ask the 740th generation Hokage and his assistants about these matters. Grandma Chiyo, it's a pity that these two people are pretending to be dumb now. I don't know what they are planning, but they have already run away. Seeing this ending, Kakashi never expected it, although he was the one who killed Zabuza, but looking at Haku who killed all the big hands out of anger, Kakashi knew how important Zabuza was in Haku's heart. Seeing Haku kneeling next to Zabuza without saying a word, Kakashi had a headache. Don't know how to deal with it at this time. Sasuke stepped forward and said with a smile, sorry, the dead will not be resurrected, but the living must continue to live strong. Shiro was indifferent, his face still dull, as if he couldn't accept the fact that Zabuza died. Kakashi held Sasuke's shoulders and said, Sasuke, I know you mean well, but please stop, give him some time and let him think clearly. Sasuke shook his head and said, this is not possible. Are you sure he can really think clearly? If he can't think about it, what choice will he make? Cassie paused, and his face became hesitant. He was an adult after all, and he quickly understood what Sasuke meant. Sasuke was worried that Bai would fall into a trap, so he committed suicide with Haku's feelings for Zabuza. This kind of thing is not impossible. It should be said that it is very possible. Chapter 274. No, Sasuke, do you even want to grab this? Naruto was almost bald. No more shopping. This familiar feeling has the taste of Naruto's mouth. Deidara, is this guy still from the Uchiha clan? You can say that, Naruto. What is mouth escape? I am obviously relying on my strength. You guys are really deceiving people too much. Shikamaru, yes, but don't you have the strength now? You'd better be careful not to be assassinated. Assassination of outstanding talents from other countries is something that often happens. Tooth, wow. Shikamaru, what you said is so scary. Sasuke, HMPH. Who will assassinate him at the end of this kind of crane? Shino, the so-called assassination naturally takes place when the target is defenseless and weak. It cannot be said that it is defenseless now, but it is definitely when Naruto is at his weakest, which is relatively stronger than when he will be in the future. Anoki, although it is a ninja video influenced by Aike, Aike does not always wait for success. But if you look closely, you will find Aike everywhere. I can only say that it is indeed Aike. Granny Chiyo, indeed, if it weren't for Aike's influence, this boy Sasuke would have fainted to the ground under the attack of the blood successor. How could he defeat Shiro alone? Tirumi May, Aike will always change the existing process, which may be the main reason why Aike will appear, allowing us to see more possibilities. Fourth Raikage, but why does Aike keep appearing in Konoha? Is it too many times? Pain, maybe it's because so many bad things in the ninja world are almost all caused by people from Konoha. The Uchiha clan, the Dark Danzo in the ninja world, and the fatuous Hokage Sarutobi Hiruzen, etc. Kakuzu, what you said really makes sense. The mission of the Kingdom of Waves ended successfully except for Naruto, who was very dissatisfied with not being able to make a shot in time. Everyone else was very satisfied. When I returned to Konoha, I found that the twice-yearly Chunin assessment was about to begin. Without any hesitation, Kakashi recommended 3 of his disciples to join the Chunin assessment. It's not that Kakashi promoted them to Chunin to get rid of them as soon as possible. It was a decision made in recognition of their strength after careful consideration. Although Naruto's performance in this outing mission was not satisfactory, but after experiencing this time, it is enough to see that Naruto's mind is extremely good, barely considered a passing grade. The only thing to worry about is little Sakura. Little Sakura does not have such an outstanding background as Naruto and Sasuke. All she has is a chakra control ability that is much beyond ordinary people. This was discovered when Kakashi taught her how to step on trees and water. Little Sakura has amazing control in this area and can learn it almost instantly. Kakashi could foresee that when learning medical ninjutsu, a ninjutsu that requires extremely high chakra control ability, little Sakura would definitely show her talent. Chapter 275. You need to learn how to use codes flexibly. After waiting for more than an hour, finally it was Sasuke's turn to enter. During this period, little Sakura complained more than once that Naruto was holding them back. Naruto scratched his head and smiled bitterly, while Sasuke looked on with a smile. Soon after receiving the scroll, the 3 entered the assessment venue, the training ground known as the Forest of Death. The danger here is not only attacks from other teams, but also the dangers contained in the Death Forest. After all, it is a forbidden training ground, and there are many dangers lurking in the Death Forest. Giant leeches that can swarm up and suck out all human fluids. There are also various huge animals and so on. If you are not careful, the community will be taken away by threats from nature. Everyone should be vigilant and don't be left alone. Sakura, who is very knowledgeable in theory, said seriously, there are many animals and plants here that need to be paid attention to. Many of them contain violent toxins. If they cannot be treated in time, their lives may be in danger. Even if they are rescued in time, they will probably suffer a lot. Serious sequelae. Did you hear me? Why didn't you even respond? Wait, where's Naruto? After saying a lot and getting no response, little Sakura couldn't help but turn her head and look back. Then he saw that only Sasuke was following him, and Naruto had long since disappeared. Facing the eyes of little Sakura, who seemed to want to kill someone, Sasuke said with an innocent face, he said he had a stomach ache and wanted to go get it sorted. Little Sakura tried her best to suppress the anger in her heart. That idiot. But soon, little Sakura realized that this was obviously the perfect time to be alone with Sasuke. Immediately the anger on her face disappeared. She turned to Sasuke and said sweetly, "Then, let's rest here, Sasuke-kun." Sasuke said with a smile as he knew nothing about it, just in time to be able to wait for him. The 2 then sat down, and the little Sakura couldn't help approaching Sasuke, and said with admiration on her face, "Sasuke-kun is so handsome. If you hadn't stood up yesterday, I'm afraid we would have all been eliminated." Sasuke said with a modest smile, "Where, even without me, there must be someone else coming." That's right. Even if Sasuke doesn't say it, I will. At this time Naruto returned with an unconvinced look on his face. Seeing that the rare time between the 2 of them was interrupted, the little Sakura suddenly showed an unhappy expression on her face. Huh? You still know how to come back? How dare you leave the team alone at such a critical moment? Aren't you afraid of being ambushed and besieged by others? What should you do if you fall into the enemy's trap? Naruto was taken aback by little Sakura's aggressive aura, and couldn't help but took 2 steps back. End of this chapter. Thank you very much for reaching the end. Don't forget to like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription, or donation encourages us to continue. Thanks to everyone. See you in the next video.